All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Junkies. I told you I had a great Mirka Andolfo shipment coming in, and it has arrived. Let's unbox it and take a look. All right, guys, so for those of you that watch frequently, you've heard me talk about this shipment for a few times. I've been waiting for it to come back for a while. It finally is here, and I can share it with you all, and it is as amazing as you could imagine it to be. So first and foremost, for those of you who don't know who Mirka Andolfo is, let's chat a little bit about the artist. I'll give you some quick background. She is an Italian artist. She started, one of her first books was Mercy. It was published, it was independent, I believe. Maybe it was Image. It came out under Image in America. I think it was Panini overseas in Italy. Some of you have probably seen Unnatural, and that's another series of hers that's put out by Image in the States. A lot of her books they do have adult content, just FYI. If you're not buying one of her mainstream series from DC, there's good potential that there's adult content. Unnatural is an adult book, but our other series, Sweet Paprika, that came out, started last year, is definitely an adult book. She's been working with DC since about 2015. She's done Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, Catwoman. She did some Bombshells work. And then she has another book, I want to say it's under Image as well. It's called Sacred and Profane. And I think it's one of those books that comes out under a different publisher outside the States versus in the States. And so that's where I kind of get tripped up there, forgetting which one it is. But if you see Sacred or Profane, she is the artist and writer on this series, I believe. And so she's a phenomenal artist, guys. I really enjoy her work. She's really struck a chord with me with her art style. For those of you that don't know, she also did Punchline #1. She did all the interiors on that book, and that's part of why I sent it in to get this remark from her, right? And so this first one I want to show you is here on the camera. Punchline #1 got a great crispy 9.8. This is one of those hardcover books. Probably should have been a 9.9, but I didn't pay as much as Clayton Crane did, so I got a 9.8. But you can see she did a great, so this white scribble here is her signature, right? And she did this great Harley Quinn remark on the front of the cover for me. Fantastic. I love it. Totally worth the time and money. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I've really been into upgrading my collection from blue labels to yellow labels. It's kind of like when I was playing Magic and I had to go from regular cards to foil cards. So now my comic collecting went from comic collecting to graded comic collecting to now yellow label signed. And pretty much now I really also just want remarked comic book collecting. For those of you who are wondering, yes, it is way more expensive, but it's the kind of thrill that you don't get from just buying regular comics all the time. There's nothing like opening an old 1960s, 70s comic and smelling that old comic smell and being taken back to when you were a kid. There's also nothing like a big, fat-ass, crispy 9.8 with a remark on it that you know is going to stay beautiful as long as you keep it around in this case. The next book I want to talk to you about, Star Wars #1. I actually paid her for the full head sketch on this. Again, totally worth the money. I had her do Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars. She does not appear in this book. I don't care. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters. Always has been. And it's funny, I don't even watch the animated show, but she's still one of my favorite characters. I geeked out when I heard Rosario Dawson was going to play her on the show. I knew she was going to do an amazing job at that. She's an amazing actress and everything else she's done. I could go on a whole rant about people crying about the voice actress from the cartoon not getting to play her on the show. Listen, voice actors and on-screen actors are two different things, guys, and you're not always able to do those things. So they picked the best person for the role, and I'm happy they did what they did, and I think they're making a great product with those people in those places. Let's leave it at that and get back to the book. So awesome sketch. I love how clean it is. It's a nice piece of work. Stands out beautifully on this cover. You can just see everything you need to see to know that that's this character, right? And that can be hard for some artists to pull off, particularly with sci-fi and characters that can look like other characters, right? And so I think she did a great job here. I'm going to treasure this book for a long time. You're not going to see it on eBay, guys. Last but not least is another remarked book. I put this last for a reason, though. So this is Elektra Black, White, and Blood #1, and this is only a remark. It's not a full sketch like the Star Wars is. The reason I put this last, though, is I actually kind of enjoy it more than the sketch cover. And what I'm going to do while you're watching here, I'm going to put up a copy of the regular cover without the sketch so you can see them side by side. And what you'll see is that fades in right now is up here where she put in this face. Daredevil's actually back here, right? She kind of did a tattoo cover up kind of deal and took some red marker to color in. So, and it's like a pinkish color marker, right? But it kind of covers up what was there in the background with Daredevil. And then she remarks this whole face, electric face on here. And because of art, both of these pieces flow so beautifully together on this cover, it actually just looks at first glance that this isn't even like it blends in so well, it doesn't even look like a remark at first. I've shown it to a few people now, and at first they didn't catch it right away. And as soon as I pointed it out and said, look, there's Daredevil there, like she totally did almost like a tattoo cover up. And they're like, oh shit, that's fucking sweet. And yes, it is. So thank you, Mirka Andolfo. Great book. I'm really satisfied with everything I've sent in for the signature series lately. That's this episode on these Mirka Andolfo books, guys. I'm glad they finally came in. I'm glad you got to see them. I hope you enjoyed looking at them with me. If you like this content, remember to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.